glorification of our natural world.
We need to take a little time out of our busy lives to truly appreciate the beauty that our natural world has to offer.
The world has provided multiple feats of nature, but only 7 have been considered extraordinary.
These places are just the beginning of what the natural world has yet to create.
From the rocky Grand Canyon to the lively shores of the Great Barrier Reef, there are masterpieces that have yet to be experienced.
The first place, and also the only place located in the United States, is the Grand Canyon. The canyon, more specifically located in Arizona, took somewhere between 3 and 6 million years to form. It was created by the Colorado River with a length of about 277 miles, an average depth of 1 mile, and an average width of about 10 miles. The rocks that make up the walls of the canyon show how truly old it is. The bottommost layer is around 2 billion years old, and the topmost layer is an estimated 1.2 million years old. The canyon walls are also made up of many colors, ranging from yellow to red to gray. The color differences are made by different types of stone and depend on what kind of erosion it was introduced to. For example, the rocks closer to the top of the rim have a more faded look than those near the river, if they have more direct sunlight hitting them. Because of the beauty of the Grand Canyon, there are more than 5 million visitors to the national park every year. Although it's not all about the view. When visiting one of the canyon's 2 main tourist areas, the South Rim and the North Rim, there are tons of fun activities to experience. The South Rim is the more popular destination of the two, as it's open year-round due to being at a lower elevation and not getting as much snowfall during winter. One of the most popular activities at the Grand Canyon is to go hiking. Hiking trips can last anywhere from a day up to 2 or 3 weeks. Depending on the hike, there are tons of amazing and beautiful things to see in the canyon, such as waterfalls, rock formations, and going to Phantom Ranch. But hiking isn't the only way to experience the canyon. Some of the other popular trips include mule rides to Phantom Ranch and rafting on the Colorado River. But the canyon wasn't always the way we know it today, a beautiful place to visit with fun activities to participate in. Before the canyon became a sacred place of natural beauty, it was home to the Pueblo Indians. It later housed members of the Paiute, Servet, and Navajo tribes as well. In September of 1540, the canyon was discovered by the Spanish explorer Garcia Lopez when he was on the search for the 7 cities of gold. After almost 200 years passed, the Spanish came back to the canyon with hopes of mining it for resources such as copper. After not making much profit from their mining efforts, the early settlers decided to switch gears to tourism, and by the turn of the 20th century, the Grand Canyon was a vacation hotspot. In 1882, the Grand Canyon Railway was added, making the trip much easier for those who didn't have cars. Nowadays, people take the train to enjoy entertainment and a beautiful view. Some interesting facts about the canyon are that about 12 people die each year, either from falling off the rim or experiencing complications while hiking. The canyon is not actually the largest canyon in the world. It's second to the Tsonga Canyon in Tibet. Members of the Native American tribe Havasupai still live in the canyon today. And there are no dinosaur fossils in the Grand Canyon, as most of the rocks are older than the dinosaurs were.
From the deep valley of the Grand Canyon to the high peak of the Paracuta volcano, our world's natural beauty is sky high.
The volcano was discovered on February 20th, 1943 by Dionisio Pulido. Historians believe Pulido was working in his cornfield just outside the Tarascan Indian village of Paracuta.
He noticed a huge crack, over 6 feet wide and 150 feet long, had appeared in the earth. He continued with his work. However, sounds like thunder rumbled across the field and the ground shook. He turned to see the ground had swelled up to 6 feet and that gray ash was pouring out of the top. For years it continued to expand, and now it is 1,353 feet in height and it's become dormant as of 1952. Although this landform provides its beauty, it also has caused plenty of damage. 20 square miles of volcanic sand lay around the Paracuta and all vegetation has died out. Hundreds of people have been moved to new locations and had to start
feel like king of the world, you don't always have to be at the top of a mountain. Sometimes the beauty at sea level is enough.
The harbor at Rio de Janeiro is a beautiful place in South America that truly shows the natural beauty of our earth. The harbor was created by an erosion from the Atlantic Ocean and is also known as Guanabara Bay.
What exactly is the harbor, you might ask? It's a balloon-shaped bay that extends for about 20 miles inland, and it's located in Brazil in South America.
Portuguese explorer Goncalo Coelho discovered the harbor on January 1st, 1502, while spending 5 months mapping the shoreline of South America. Coelho's ships entered a bay full of strange-shaped mountains that amazed him and his crew. They named the bay Rio de Janeiro, or January River. This breathtaking wonder was formed by the sea meeting the Serra do Mar Mountains. So it once used to be mountains, but then the sea expanded towards the mountains and eventually just made the mountains part of the sea. The shape of the mountains was created from the fragile Genesis rock interacting with the tougher granite rock. And the weather has, over the years, eroded the mountains down, creating its tough, rigid shape that it has today. And the mountains are going to continue to change shape, because of the weather.
There are many different ethnic groups that live among the area. These include Africans, Caucasians, Portuguese, Spanish, and Italians. With all these groups, this part of Brazil is very ethnically diverse. Along with the people in the area, there are also many different types of animals that inhabit the area. Capuchin and howler monkeys are a few of the monkeys that live here. Pumas, capybaras, muskrats, anteaters, and armadillos also live in this area.
The land around us is just the start of the view. Looking into the sky brings a whole different form of it.
What she's referring to is the Aurora Borealis, or better known as the Northern Lights. Many people don't know what the aurora truly is. These lights are actually collisions between electrically charged particles from the sun that enter the Earth's atmosphere. They're seen above the magnetic poles of the northern and southern hemisphere. Depending on where you are, it will either be called the Aurora Borealis, which is for the northern hemisphere, and Aurora Australis for the southern hemisphere. These displays come in a variety of colors, including green, pink, red, yellow, blue, and violet. Depending on the strength of the lights and conditions, they can be seen in patches, in arcs, in rippling currents, as that one is, or shooting rays that shine with a bright glow. You're probably wondering where and when you can see these lights. Because this phenomenon occurs by the magnetic poles, aurora can be seen as far south as New Orleans in the Western Hemisphere. However, the best viewing place in North America are in the northwestern parts of Canada, so places like the Yukon, the Northwestern Territories, and Australia. Alaska. It isn't limited to these places, however. This display can also be viewed in Greenland, Iceland, Norway, and Siberia. When to see the lights is a whole different story. Areas with little to no light pollution, so somewhere like New York City with a lot of light pollution wouldn't be the best place to view, but low light pollution would be the best viewing areas. These include northern areas and small communities. The aurora peaks during wintertime. This is due to long periods of darkness and clear nights that come with winter conditions. But evidently, the best chances you have of seeing this rare occurrence is around midnight. Now that you know the basics of the Northern Lights, I'll tell you more about the story behind the display. First of all, Aurora Borealis means dawn of the north, while Aurora Australis means dawn of the south. Along with its meanings are the myths and legends in Roman myth, Aurora was a goddess of dawn. In medieval times, occurrences of the lights meant that a war or a famine was about to occur. Some cultures even believed that lights were reflections from torches and campfires of enemy tribes. Just as we see in the movie Brother Bear, different tribes believed the lights were spirits of great hunters and fishermen. And better yet, some tribes believed that the lights were the spirits of the animals they hunted. So seals, salmon, deer, beluga whales, things of that sort. While today some tribes continue this belief, most of us just like to enjoy the lights in its natural settings. Another great thing about the aurora is that they're so bright that they can be seen from space. And not only Earth has this phenomenon. It turns out that Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune also exhibit their own displays. These planets' magnetic fields are so strong that the lights appear vertically, brighter, and with stronger hues of color. Even though Earth's light can't compare to other planets, we're still fortunate enough to experience the displays. Seeing them on Earth with your own eyes would be a sight in itself. The only problem is, you can't predict a show. This is due to the electrically charged particles ejected from the sun hitting the magnetic field at any time and with any strength. A hit will either create a magnetic storm and a dazzling aura or a fizzle. Today, we still have no way of knowing ahead of time. Regardless, this event is one of the rarest, most spectacular marvels that mankind is fortunate enough to experience. And another thing about the aurora is that if you get close enough to it, and if you're fortunate enough to be that close, it creates a sound like a room of applauding people. Overall, the aurora borealis covers the sky in breathtaking beauty, while the Victoria Falls covers the land in just the same way.